This is a special announcement. We are heading to RSA conference in San Francisco for our 11th years of coverage, April 28, May 1st.
And as always, we'll bring you keynotes, conversations with organizers, speakers, industry leaders, plus the latest insights from the world of cybersecurity.
And we'll reconnect with old friends, meet new ones, and of course, we want you and your company to join us.
We have a few spots left for full sponsorship and our on-location briefings. You can book yours now at itspmagazine.com/RSAC.
We're going.
And you're coming with us.
Hey, Sean, do you know what? I think that our listener want real protection against cyber risk, and I know that HITRUST is the leader in cybersecurity assurance. But what makes them the go-to choice?
Well, according to our friends at HITRUST, because their framework covers 100% of the known tactics, techniques, and procedures, in 2024, organizations with a HITRUST certification had just a 0.59% incident rate, meaning 99.41 stayed breach-free.
That's solid, but what about staying sharp over time?
HITRUST regular certification process isn't just a checkbox, it actually drives improvement. Repeat customers see up to 54% fewer corrective actions needed year over year. And now with their new AI security assessment and certification, you can actually tackle AI risk with confidence as well.
Then check out the HITRUST framework. Go to hitrustalliance.net to learn more.
Eric Herzog, here we are. We're together.
Great, it's glad to be together. And guess what? We're hanging out at the Infinidat booth at the RSA show now.
I love the purple. You can't
like
go wrong.
that?
You can't go wrong with purple.
And of course, you like the Hawaiian shirts as
I love
usual.
the Hawaiian shirt, which is fantastic. Exactly. It's about the energy. It's about having fun, but being also serious when it matters most, right?
Absolutely. As you know, the bulk of our customers are Global Fortune 2000.
Right.
So they need us to be serious to deliver right solutions to help with cyber, to lower their costs, and things we do in the AI world as well.
Exactly. And to have a sharp mind and a what's the right word? A team that cares.
Well, we're known for our white glove support and service.
Exactly.
In fact, one of the analyst firms, Gartner, does an end user survey.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the analysts, it's them. They make sure it's not me and my kids. And we have been the Enterprise Customers Choice Award winner 7 years in a row. So that's the customers,
Exactly.
and they usually are supporting not just a great product, but our support and service always puts us over the line.
I love it. So let's talk about the product. Well, maybe let's introduce you to our audience first off. Eric, I don't know, maybe a little bit about you before Infinidat that maybe helped shape your role in Infinidat and where you're up to now.
So I'm the CMO here. For the previous 7.5 years, I was the CMO of the IBM Storage Division and the Vice President of Global Channels. And before that, for 5 years, I was the Senior VP at EMC for what is now called the PowerMax and PowerStore. And this is obviously before the acquisition by Dell.
You like storage?
I've done nothing but storage for 40 years.
You like storage? Funny enough, storage is an important part of the business, right?
Storage is completely cool.
It is completely
totally cool.
It is completely
You don't do the right thing by storage, your data goes away. What happens when your data goes away? People get fired.
People get fired, customers leave, you don't make any money.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about maybe how things have shifted in the last few years. Transformation. Obviously, we had a big health event that changed the way a lot of businesses ran and where their data was. But kind of give me a picture of how things have transformed over the last few years that have raised awareness that storage protection, data protection is key, top of mind.
As you know, in several of the surveys of CIOs, the number one purchase item, even despite some of these economic travails that have been going on the last year and a half, number one purchase item is cybersecurity. So what we've done is imbue inside of our technology a whole bunch of cybersecurity. So we can do seamless integration, for example, with data center-wide cybersecurity packages. So SIM, SOAR, if they've got a SOC. So we can do that right level of integration that makes storage part of a comprehensive enterprise cybersecurity strategy. We brought storage into the mix instead of being on the outside.
So give me a scenario where things are disparate and siloed and what that does to the teams and their ability to respond, be resilient. when things are going wrong?
Well, so part of the angle we've done with our what we call automated cyber protection is integrate with data center-wide cybersecurity technology, whether it be a software package like Microsoft Sentinel or IBM QRadar or Splunk, or whether it be a security operations center, which several of the big companies are doing. So in the old days, it's a silo. They see an attack, oh wait, maybe we should call the storage guys. So we came up with a way where, no, it's automated. So we get a ping.
What are they asking or saying? What are they saying? What are they asking the storage team?
Well, they're saying, have you had a cyber attack? What do you see? Can you check it out for us? Blah, blah, blah.
And they're not security people.
No. So in this case, what we've done is integrate with data center-wide cybersecurity entities, either a SOC or the software. When it sees a threat, we automatically start taking action. There's no pick up the phone and call the storage guy. We even can set up so after we will create, for example, an immutable snapshot, which can't be erased, can't be deleted, we can then scan that for malware or ransomware. We can do that all in an automated fashion.
Okay.
So the question isn't if you're going to be attacked, it's when and how often. In fact, the average enterprise suffers 1,653 attacks every week. So thinking they're never going to get in is not being realistic. But if they do get in with our next generation data protection, you want to make sure that A, you can identify what the issue is to get a known good copy. Because remember, malware and ransomware is not King Kong. They're not Godzilla yelling and screaming and pounding on their chest. It's all run surreptitiously. It is the ultimate James Bond.
Is this still low and slow?
All low and slow. They are now, of course, the cyber guys are using, cyber criminals using AI as well, just like the good guys are. So it's kind of a standoff on who's doing what. So you need to make sure that by have this integrated cybersecurity play, which is built into the storage and can interface with non-storage technology, you can create a comprehensive strategy and take proactive action. Not wait, but just get going. So the security software, the SOC says, hey, we think we got an attack going. Boom, start scanning the storage, check it out, get a known good copy. So if there really is an attack, you're not recovering a data set that has malware or ransomware in it, which of course doesn't do you any good.
So funny enough, I've heard, we hear secure by design all the time. That doesn't necessarily mean there's security built in to the solution. It just may mean that they actually considered security when they're building the solution, which is a very nuanced point I'm going to make here, which is you're saying security needs to be part of the storage solution, not just as a storage solution secure.
Right. So we secure the storage solution. We could encrypt the data. We have management dual authentication for the storage admins. But I'm saying we integrate cyber technology directly into the storage. It's a software play. The bulk of the software we do not charge for. You don't have to turn it off if you don't want to, but if you do, we can do immutable snapshots, create forensic environments. And what the most important thing is, since the question isn't if you're going to be attacked, it's when and how often. So what about recovery? So we will guarantee in writing recovery of any data set size on primary storage, any data set size, which could be 10 petabytes or 20 petabytes, 1 minute or less recovery, where the data is made available. Now you have to have a known good copy, because if you recover a bad copy, you just recovered malware or ransomware. Once you have a known good copy, we guarantee recovery in a minute or less. And on our purpose-built backup appliance, which works all the major backup software guys, we guarantee recovery in under 20 minutes. No one can match that. And we guarantee it in writing for our enterprise. Again, the bulk of our customers are Global Fortune 2000. So they not only want that type of guaranteed SLA, they want it in writing, and we provide it in writing.
Yeah, so I'm glad you made that point, because that's what I'm hearing, is people want that connection.
Yeah, they want a level of integration.
Generally speaking, they want the security inside whatever business process that's functioning. And here we're talking about data storage. So, 20 minutes or less in writing, a minute or less in some cases. What does that do? So you're automating a lot of this thing.
Yeah.
How do team? Well, I guess let me go back a second. Infrastructure. So what changes in terms of deployment of their current solution?
So for us, deployment is all the same. The issue is you talk to our professional services team or our technical advisors. We provide technical advisors to every account at no charge. And their job is not tech support. We have a separate tech support team. Technical advisor's job is optimizing applications, workloads, and use cases. That's what their job is. So you say, you know what, these workloads over here, we're very concerned, they're the most valuable corporate data. Great, why don't we do InfiniSafe? Great, What do you want to do? Okay, oh, and you're using Microsoft Sentinel. Okay, Microsoft Sentinel can talk to it. You want it not to talk to it. So we work with them. They tell us what they want. Okay, it's our regular storage, and some people don't turn it on. Quite honestly, we had a customer who had an attack and hadn't turned it on. We have other customers that had attacked and was turned on, and they recovered in a couple minutes. So it's all about what they want to do. It is integrated into the storage software operating system, so it's not extra. It's built in, and it's more about turning it on and just configuring, deciding what data sets you want to protect, how you want to protect them, how often do you want to do things like snapshots, and all levels of integration with their more comprehensive data center-wide cybersecurity.
Right.
Are they using QRadar? Great. What do you want us to do? Great. And then we program that in, so when something comes through the API, we then take our queue from the data center-wide cybersecurity software or a SOC, and we start doing stuff automatically. So it's no more
That's
pick up the
policy-driven?
phone. It's all, we all configure it. You say, I want these arrays to do snapshots of half of the capacity, and then I want those scanned. On this array, we want the entire thing to be a snapshot. We want none of it scanned. And once you set up, now you can change it later, because if you add more storage, which is normal these days, then you want to add that new storage into the configuration. But it's all done with software, so it's easy to do. It's not complex. There's no extra hardware involved at all. There's no gateway. There's no third appliance. You just do it in our software that comes on our InfiniBox platforms.
Nice. So talk to me about specific scenarios. Maybe, I don't know, what are some, I mean, every company has storage, but I'm looking maybe somebody in healthcare, customer in manufacturing.
Sure.
Okay. How?
So one of our,
what are they backing up? How often?
Yeah.
How,
So
how
one
do
of
you
one
participate
of
in
our
that?
customers is a global Fortune 500, and they do immutable snapshot. They're in finance. They do immutable snapshots every 15 minutes.
Okay.
Every 15 minutes. Okay. Those immutable snapshots can't be deleted, can't be changed, can't be altered. We create a logical air
Are those
gap.
on-prem, in the cloud?
It's on-prem.
Okay.
We can also do it in the cloud if that's what they want, but in this case, it's on-prem. We have a logical air gap, separation of the management plane and the data plane. And they do that both locally and remotely because they have disaster recovery sites because they're, a global Fortune 500. Right. They then do scanning a couple times a week, so they have what we call InfiniSafe cyber detection. It's the only part of our software that is extra. So that's the one piece they did buy, and they're scanning every couple days.
Looking for viruses.
Yep, malware and
Malware.
ransomware. So the capability when we do the scanning is twofold. A, just the way Microsoft or Splunk is a warning system across the data center, we can be a warning center on storage. So we can scan the storage. If we see something with our API, we can send a note out to the SOC saying, hey, on this array, we are starting to see it's XYZ. Okay? The
This
other
could be
one,
a snapshot from last week, perhaps,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
The
So
stuff has been sitting there, and now we have a detection.
If we do the detection, if we see something wrong, there's a big screen that comes up, the warnings go out over email, but we can integrate it with an API to go out to the larger data center-wide comprehensive strategy. Okay. The other thing we can do is, since you will get attacked, now you've had an attack. You need to have a known good copy.
Right.
So you will take copies and you use our InfiniSafe cyber detection to scan the copies till you find a good one, and that's the one you recover. Okay. So you've got one, InfiniSafe cyber detection as a warning system, and B, you've got it also during the recovery process to make it more accurate, faster, right? Otherwise, you have to call the app guys and say, okay, you Oracle guys, can you check into this? So with this, we can help with that scanning process. So A, takes them to go focus on something else when there's an attack. B, it can be set up seamlessly integrated, so it automatically sees something, we take the snapshot, and then we start scanning it, right? And we set that up with our technical advisors, with our cyber protection, and then use cyber detection after. So use cyber protection first to integrate with data center wide, and then if there is an issue, use cyber detection to scan.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So that's how we do the integration. So that's all can be a completely automated process from an end user perspective.
So everybody has all their data's in one spot, right?
Now it could be remote sites as well.
So I'm joking a little bit. So give me an idea of what. So redundant sites, of course, but a lot of companies are built by acquisitions. So some have some storage, and
So
in some places. So how do you give that
So,
comprehensive view? And
So our cyber product only works on our own system because part of our storage operating system. It's built into the operating system. Okay? However, what we do just generically is because of the power of the InfiniBox platform, what we call our neural cache, we can often consolidate tons of other arrays into less. So for example, we have a global Fortune 500, 288 floor tiles have all flashed with someone else. Now they're running all those workloads on 61 floor tiles of us. So you're saving on watts, slots, power, floor space, and of course they can run InfiniSafe on the InfiniBox platforms. We have another customer from 27 arrays from 3 different vendors to 4 with us.
Wow.
So you've got a bunch of savings there that are, CapEx, OpEx.
Yeah.
One of our customers, they went from, with another vendor, 15 storage admins. Now they run actually 25 extra petabytes, so more than they had before, with only 4 admins. Now, by the way, those 11 guys did not lose their job because, as you guys know, from the analyst and press community, there's an IT skills gap all over the world.
Exactly.
So they just got repurposed into another part of IT. But they're not managing the storage anymore, 15 guys down to 4. So that is both an OpEx statement, but in this case, it's an IT operations statement,
Absolutely.
independent of cost, because the 11 guys are freed up to work on something else.
And guess what? They know the storage, they know its role within the business, so they're probably really good at figuring out how to fine-tune the business operations surrounding data as well.
Well, and that's partially what we have with our technical advisors. Their job is to help them with SAP, help them with Oracle, help them with Mongo, Cassandra, help them with their supply chain applications, whatever they're doing. That is what our technical advisors do.
Talk to me a bit about the initial engagement with a prospect.
Sure.
What that conversation sounds like. What I'm looking for is what's the trigger that says the way we're doing it now isn't working? What are the signs that they're coming to you with?
Yeah.
A work down team, or we're just spending too much money?
So one is clearly, if you think about it, I've done this for 40 years. I've never met a CIO who used to be a storage admin. So CIOs know they need storage, but they frickin' hate it. So we don't engage in a technical conversation. We lead with a business conversation.
Okay.
How much storage do you have? Oh, how would you like to cut your capital and operational expenses and free up operational manpower? By the way, what if you could integrate cyber technology or AI directly into the storage and not run extra applications or have extra servers? Oh, okay. Which, by the way, is not only an ease of use statement, but also, of course, ends up being a cost statement, because then they got to buy other stuff. In this case, the cyber, for example, is built into the storage.
Right.
You have an AI RAG for AI workloads. Okay, so instead of getting something extra, we can figure out a way with our AI RAG to work with large language models, vector data, small language, which are needed in AI workloads, and do that all on-prem, or we can do it out to cloud configurations if they've got a cloud configuration. So both work.
Okay. And I have to ask the question, compliance, and I'm thinking perhaps some data sovereignty requirements
Yeah,
as
so
well?
on the data sovereignty side, we don't do anything from our software perspective. That's up to the customer.
Got it.
Most of our
But you
customers,
support
again,
that, of course.
yeah, because
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
mostly global Fortune
Yeah.
2000.
Yeah.
So we've got a current customer who just bought, double tens of millions last quarter, and some of it's going into Europe, some of it's going into Asia, and some of it's going into 4 different sites in the United States. So when you're doing that, we make sure that, if they say, hey, you can't go off site or out of the country,
Right.
then our technical advisors work with them to make sure they configure the array. So the replica site for disaster, Canada is one of those countries, for example. They have that rule. So do several countries in Europe.
Yeah.
So that means the data's got to stay within the physical boundaries. So we say, great, your disaster recovery center needs to be 1,000 kilometers away, still in your country, but over there, and we'll help you do that. And that way they have the compliance on the data sovereignty perspective. But that's more about what our technical advisor and professional services team does. We don't have the software that literally looks at the compliance characteristics.
Right.
We have the cyber software, the AI software, including all the regular storage enterprise stuff. That's why, again, we have so many of the, 28% of the Fortune 50 buy from Infinidat.
Yeah.
Strong statement. We're such a,
That's very cool. And what I'm thinking, maybe you can confirm it, is so you're not doing the compliance, but these teams are probably pulling their hair out trying to figure out how to manage all these data stores.
Right, and
on all
what
these
we do
places,
is-
and you give them that control.
Well, we simplify
Yeah.
dramatically. If you go from 288 floor tiles to 61,
Yeah.
you dramatically took out what you need to do compliance on. Because now it's 61
Exactly.
boxes, not 288 boxes.
Yep.
And then obviously you have the savings on CapEx, on OpEx, on the operational management. And the point, It's always easier to manage less than more.
Yes.
And we have the right performance characters that would put more and more workloads on a single entity system versus having 5 or 6 systems from somebody else.
Fantastic.
And they can do it, but they need 5, 6, 7, 8 systems. We can do it with one. So that's
Sounds
part
like
of
a
that
good deal to
value.
me.
Again, not just technical value, but we're all about business value.
Yeah, that's clear. It's obvious. Eric, great chatting with you. Anything else we didn't touch on you want to say?
No, great. Well, and we want people to come visit our website,
Of course.
www.infinidat.com.
Of course. And we'll include links to your sites and any other resources that you have running with us. And connect with Eric, too.
Great.
You're a good guy,
Thank
Eric.
you.
Pleasure chatting
Thanks for
with you.
coming by.
Appreciate it. Take care, everybody.
Hey, Sean, do you know what? I think that our listener want real protection against cyber risk, and I know that HITRUST is the leader in cybersecurity assurance. But what makes them the go-to choice?
Well, according to our friends at HITRUST, because their framework covers 100% of the known tactics, techniques, and procedures, in 2024, organizations with a HITRUST certification had just a 0.59% incident rate, meaning 99.41 stayed breach-free.
That's solid, but what about staying sharp over time?
HITRUST regular certification process isn't just a checkbox, it actually drives improvement. Repeat customers see up to 54% fewer corrective actions needed year over year. And now with their new AI security assessment and certification, you can actually tackle AI risk with confidence as well.
Then check out the HITRUST framework. Go to hitrustalliance.net to learn more. This is a special announcement. We are heading to RSA conference in San Francisco for our 11th years of coverage, April 28, May 1st.
And as always, we'll bring you keynotes, conversations with organizers, speakers, industry leaders, plus the latest insights from the world of cybersecurity.
And we'll reconnect with old friends, meet new ones, and of course, we want you and your company to join us.
We have a few spots left for full sponsorship and our on-location briefings. You can book yours now at itspmagazine.com/RSAC.
We're going.
And you're coming with us.